who's still asleep and who's actually awake.
It's like selling your soul.
They want you to be soft.
Millions of dollars, life is a game, and you can bend the rules to your reality.
Bro, it's like GTA.
So we'll go to the next level. Some people will just stay where they are.
Be comfortable with the worst case scenario. Look at the average guy in the West.
Got a fat missus, making no money.
It's a comfortable space. Maybe she's a fat chick, but she has a pussy, right? So,
Motherfucker, you've had every opportunity to do what I did, but you chose the easy route. Are you about it or you're not about it?
This podcast, we don't bullshit. We say how it is. Welcome to another episode of FocusTalk. Today we have two great guests.
I'm Matt Chaos. I'm 28 years old, South African, lived in Australia. I've now been here in Bali for 10 months, and we're starting our new lives out here.
I'm Mitch McConaughey, 25 now, been living in Bali for 9 months. I'm in the online space. I do a bit of crypto, a bit of martial arts as well.
Which kind of impact has martial arts in the life of a man?
Honestly, martial arts has had the biggest impact on, to be honest, every aspect of life. When you do a such thing as Muay Thai, MMA, Jiu-Jitsu, whatever it is, it's like not one thing can be done without the other. So in life, there is a saying that goes, how you do anything is how you do everything. And it's the same for martial arts. It's like you cannot train martial arts to 100% and then go home and then not eat to 100% and not sleep to 100%, because overall, this is just lowering the overall outcome. So when you look at martial arts, you see the final and finished product, but there is years and years of repetition, anxiety, overcome, triumph, pain, despair, breakdown of relationships, growth of friendships, all sorts of stuff. So yeah, it's a massive thing, and I think every man should actually be involved in that on their quest.
Yeah, man. I think it's necessary and important for every man that wants to develop as a man, That you can be the best man and be very successful in a lot of areas of life, but I think if you don't have this martial arts aspect in your life, there's something missing,
When I moved to Bali, I've only been training Muay Thai for maybe 2 months, and then I had that first fight. So.
Yeah. How was that experience for you? Which impact has martial arts on your life?
It's impacted me in the way that I can look at someone training in the gym actually, and I can see their limiting belief in where they give up, how far they can push themselves, and
100%. And it's not only about learning about other people. The biggest thing is you learn a lot about yourself when you do martial arts, right?
100%.
You know where your limits are, and you know that there are actually no limits, bro. There can be someone that is 20 kilos more than you, but if you have heart, you can break his will.
Yeah, and that's what I learned through Muay Thai is, it's all heart and it's all about never giving up, So once you're locked into that cage, it's either you or him. So you can really see if you're about it or not. So
it's just a masculine primal thing, martial arts. You are surrounded by 20 killers that all fight, that all are training, that are all in shape. It raises your testosterone, bro. It's like you're in this primal instinct, in this fighting killer survival instinct.
Absolutely. It doesn't get more primal than that. If you look back at history, it's like the greatest of conquerors were groups of men that could fight. Everything, we would hunt together, we would train together, we would attack other tribes together. We'll do all these kind of things, and that was the greatest bond. And if you take that, that thought and you put it to the Dagestanis now in the UFC, it's exactly the same thing.
Yeah,
that team of killers, they train together, they eat together, they sleep together, they pray together. They're not out womanizing, they're not drinking, they're not partying. Everything is for a common goal.
Back then, what did they do? In Rome, they put two people in a Colosseum, fight to death, I think that's the modern version of that. Now you don't fight to death. Competition in the modern world right now.
I think it's like the best way for a man to test himself, to see, like Mitch said, are you about it or you're not about it? Because for the most part in this current society, we are living in a space of weakness. And it's a handful of us that are actually the ones that are willing to put ourselves in a position to test ourselves. Not only to test ourselves physically in the art of fair combat, but outside of that, in the financial space, in the relationship space, in the friendship space. It's like, can you have these hard conversations? It's like, if you can get punched in the face, I'm sure we can talk. You know what I mean? That's the easiest thing. And majority of people aren't willing to put themselves in positions like that because of the fear of the unknown, the fear of failure, the fear of injury, the fear of all these other kind of things. And then after that, there's complete love because there's a respect between men, which we don't often get currently.
Now you have a fight against someone you don't even know, the bond that you create after a fight, it's like, bro, we literally tried to kill each other, now we are hugging each other. It's a different bond that you create, even with people that you don't know.
I think that's the deepest form of respect.
You already mentioned it. Masculinity, most people are very soft right now. In this modern day that we live in, most of the people, they are very soft. Their environment is soft. It's all about, I don't want to hurt your feelings. Because, bro, we can be honest, and in this podcast and in this YouTube channel, we don't bullshit. We say how it is. And most of them, they watch the media. They get influenced by the environment. They get influenced by stuff that they consume. Nowadays, it's all about, okay, don't hurt each other. It's okay to be fat. It's okay to be this. No one is honest anymore, you know? They lie instead of being honest and telling the honest truth. If someone loves you, he tells you the truth. If I have a brother that is fat, I tell him, bro, you're overweight. You need to get into the gym. It's unhealthy for you. It's the #1 cause of death in the world. Heart attacks, heart diseases. It's like, I love you, bro. That's why I'm fucking honest to you. And most people are not honest to each other, and that's why they lie to each other. They pretend because they don't want to get this confrontation. Everyone is like that emotional and soft. They get upset if you tell them like that, you know?
Absolutely. But that's also what current society wants. They want you to be soft. And at the end of the day, everything outside is trying to kill us anyway. So it's like we need to be this one pillar of strength within ourselves and take control of our own lives. We only have a limited amount of time. So at the end of the day, like every day, for me, it's like, how do I build my best life? And I'm like, I think about life as like an Xbox game or something like that. I'm like, we all start off with fuck all. It's like you start on level 1, you start off weak, no armor, no guns, no nothing. Yeah. So I'm like, how do we then build ourselves to that position? It's like, I have a goal, I need to get here. All right, let's get here. Who do I need to be on that journey with? And how are we going to take it to the next level? All right, I work, achieve that goal. All right, you level up.
That's why I love you, bro. Yesterday, I even did a video about why I live life like a video game. So, it's like GTA, you know? You start at zero, ground zero, you don't have shit. You can level up your money, you can level up your financial, you can have cars, you can get a nicer apartment, you can get hot girls. It's like, what do you want from life? Yeah, you need to ask yourself these questions. And if you want if you're comfortable with 1K, 2K, 3K a month, it's cool, bro. We don't blame anyone. But these conversations and these surroundings that we have, we keep our brothers accountable. We want to level up together, you know? So we have goals and visions and we want to achieve that, and we will achieve that, you know? It's just a matter of time. If you keep that belief and keep that vision and work towards that goal, over time it will happen. It's inevitable, you know? And you will just push forward. And life is like a video game. You start with nothing and you can have everything. Sometimes you need to take some risks. It's part of the game. And everything, be comfortable with the worst case scenario. What is the worst case scenario? Total, okay, you die. Bro, imagine you respawn. We don't know what life is, what afterlife is. Do we actually die? There are many questions, topics for a different talk, but imagine you respawn. Just the belief of, okay, it's not over after I die, will give you so much power. You will be able to take more risks. You don't give a shit. Well, even in the West, let's say Germany, I'm from Germany. The worst case, if someone wants to start a business or whatever, is go back to government support. You're not homeless. You still have food. You still have everything. So people outside of the West, they have it much more difficult. If they take some risks, bro, they're like ground zero. Maybe they don't have family that can support them, and then they're like surviving homeless, starving, you know? That's a different kind of worst case. So most people feel you're fucking comfortable. So get your ass up, bro. Take some risk, bro. You can achieve everything in this life, bro.
I completely agree. Like, all my friends that are worth millions of dollars, they all say that life is a game, and you know, you can bend the rules to your reality. It's only people that are losers that just accept reality for what it is. So I've got a fat missus. I'm making no money. Life is just this. But to really level up, like, you really need to find the right tribe. And like, you guys with the same mindset is that step forward.
Because they are comfortable with a fat chick, you know? Yeah. They don't even have the belief that they can get a hotter chick, more loving chick, or a girl that has a good heart, goodwill, whatever, you know? It's a comfortable space. Maybe she's a fat chick, but she has a pussy, right? So they will bust a nut here and there, and then they already busted a nut, and they don't have the will to push forward to get a new chick or whatever, a better chick.
Yeah, and I grew up in a small country town, and you know, I'm seeing people my age now get married, have kids with a girl they met from high school, and that's cool. But you haven't even traveled. You don't even know what type of girl that you want or that you could get. So it's just very interesting to see people not even question the reality that they live in. You know, in Australia especially, it's like, you know, grow up, get a mortgage, pay your mortgage for 30 years, settle down, and that's it. And they're okay with that. But deep down, they're not.
I'm glad that you added in that deep down that they're not okay with that. Because there's so many people that they'll see you doing it and then they're like, I wish I did that. And I'm like, motherfucker, we came from the same spot. You know what I mean?
Would be cool to live like that.
Yeah. Or when you start succeeding, must be nice.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, you've had every opportunity to do what I did, but you chose the easy route.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this is why for me, it's like as soon as I see someone who's willing to risk it. Mitch came to me very early on and he said, I want to fight. I'm like, what are you asking me for? Let's do it. You know what I mean? Like, you've got my blessing and you have my full support. So let's do it. And it's the same thing that we're doing here. Let's figure it out. You know what I mean? And
that's the mindset. Let's figure it out.
Yeah.
That's what we want to do. We'll find a way.
Absolutely. And I think majority of people, they just accept that this is the norm. You know, just to have a girlfriend, just to buy a house, just to have that job. And I'm like, that's a sure way to depression. And majority of men, they're like 3-4 kids deep. They have a house they can't afford. Their cars on finance. Like, there's no party. Where are you living in this? You are in the Truman Show. It's the same thing day in, day out for 30 years. Maybe you have another child. Maybe you get a dog. Maybe the dog will die. Maybe your missus will leave you. But you've made shit decisions when you had the ability to stick and move. And now you're in a position where you are stuck by the constraints of your decisions.
I even posted a quote a week ago. I thought I was learning how to live, but I was learning how to die. If your life is about routines and no new expressions, no new experiences, bro, if you remember the past experiences that you had, okay, I went to my job, right? How much do you remember of working your job? You just remember that you did it, and maybe one or 2 days, but you did it for years, you know?
Yeah,
I think even your life becomes shorter. Because I went to university, I was learning all day. I remember that I learned all day, but there were no new things. It was just the same business as usual, you know?
Yeah, and I only did 1 year of university, and I was like, this doesn't make sense. Like, it's a scam in a way, you know, because I was 17 and they're like, no, you have to go to uni to be successful. So I went for 1 year. They got me in 10 grand of debt. It took me 4 years to pay it off.
Yeah.
And bro, I'm 17. How are you?
They make you stuck in the system, you know?
Exactly.
Especially in America, and in Germany it's not that bad, you know? You don't have these student loans and shit, but that's the biggest scam ever, bro. They give you an education that is worth shit, make you in debt, so you're stuck in that bitch.
Yeah, you graduate and you're only making 60 grand a year.
And it takes 10 years to pay it off.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, man. And, you know, I've got an Asian mother, and, you know, growing up, she's a bit older, and she told me, like, you know, go to uni, like, you need it to be successful. So I did it for 1 year, but 1 month in, I called her, and I was like, Mum, I'm only here because of you. I don't even want to be here. And now I'm more successful than my friends that graduated, have degrees, and they're still doing the same shit that they were doing when we met.
Your mom has your best intentions because she thinks that's the best way. That's the thing that she learned. Same with my mom, bro. If she hears someone went to university and has a college degree, she's, oh my God, she's so successful. But she doesn't know. Bro, I went through the whole system, you know? I know that most of these guys in university, they think they're the smart people of society, you know? But they didn't learn actually anything about life. They just went into their exceptions to everything. I went to uni, you know, and I'm an exception of. But if you look at 95% of the people there, they never went out of their comfort zone. They just did their books. Even the professors, bro, that's the role model of university, right? The professor don't know how to speak, gets insecure. You see he's shaking when he talks to some girl students, you know? It's like weird as fact to watch them even talking. And then that's your role model. You want to learn something from that guy. It's like, and then he talks to you about business economics, bro. Business economics that is outdated, bro. That was good 10 years ago. Now we live
prior
in a
to social media, prior to Instagram, OF, all those other things, you know?
It doesn't make sense anymore to learn this shit. And what do people do? They memorize all that shit, and then they just give it again in the exam, and then they never use it for their jobs.
Absolutely.
It's a waste of brain cells, bro.
That is the ultimate conditioning. You know what I mean? If you go to somewhere for 4 years to be conditioned by someone who has been conditioned, And it's exactly the same situation with the school system, university, pharmaceuticals, all of that, those industries. It's like, let's injure you and sell you a cure, and then we'll just make money on the back end because now you're in this condition and you believe. If I think outside, but back in the day, yes, people died of disease and famine and all that kind of stuff, but so many of the things that we have now were not necessary and still aren't necessary. We live in the softest society that we've ever experienced, and why do we have the most medicine now that we've ever had? Like, it doesn't make sense, because we can all make mistakes and we can all do certain things that we thought that was the right decision in the moment.
Yeah.
And then we look back and we're like, I fucked up, or I was kind of like led this one route where I didn't quite have the environment or didn't have the people around me to be able to be like, yo, I wouldn't recommend doing this. But then everyone else is conditioned to do it. So you do these kind of things. I think there comes a point where we need to look at that and we need to understand that, yeah, I made a mistake. It's not cool. How do I fix it? And as soon as we take responsibility for our actions in every way, shape and form, I think that's at the point where we start to level up.
That's the good way. There are two types of people, That's the good way when you're honest to yourself. When you admit, okay, I fucked up, yeah. But most of the people, they don't admit. They are not honest with themselves, and that's the beginning stage. And if you're not honest with yourself, you're not honest to other people too, because it starts with yourself, right? Admit that you fucked up, and now we solve that shit. But they don't admit that in the first place, so they will always stay in that thing,
I look at people with degrees, right? 60 grand in debt, just wasted 4 years of their life, and it's like they're trapped because they have to be politically correct. They can't even say their own opinion, because if they do, they'll just get fired. And then what? That's what they learned for 4 years. It's just like a fighter, growing up, just fighting, no idea about business. He gets injured. Then what? Like, you got to start back at square one. Yeah. So
I had a friend who was sponsored by like a large fitness company, and she posted something about Palestine and the current situation. And she didn't even post anything that was gruesome, nothing of the sort. It was simply a post. She then was contacted the next day by that company saying that your contract has been terminated due to the fact that it goes against our guidelines and the political this and that. Then they went on to then post the NDA and all of the things that were signed within the NDA. It's like, just like that, you are representing a company, but you represent a company, you still need to be authentic and represent yourself. So who am I going to be more authentic to? Myself always. If your company's views do not align with my views, I'm always going to back myself first. No one needs those companies in that case.
And that's how they control you. And that's why it's so important that, in the future, she signs with a company that aligns with her values, where she can, put up a post and not have her contract terminated. So that's just the times that we're living in right now.
That is from the individual level, right? She and her contract and her NDA. When you look at it from a larger perspective, you ask yourself the question, okay, why does this company don't want to have a post about Palestine? Then you look at, okay, who owns this company? And then we go into that rabbit hole, who owns all the companies. Or let's say when you have a boss, when you have a job, 9 to 5, right? You can't have your own opinion. By signing this contract with this company, you work for this company, it's like selling your soul. People say selling your soul, but you can't stay for the values that you have anymore. Because now you have rent to pay, right? You have a family to feed.
Exactly.
And you need money income. So you can't say your opinion anymore. So the more companies exist that are like that, the less people with opinions are there, the more they say the things that they want you to say.
And if you do talk about your opinion that's different to the narrative, everyone will just call you a certain buzzword, and then they don't even know what these buzzwords mean.
And they're in this environment, right? When you're in this job environment, okay, that's like when you question yourself, when you question the things that are the narrative right now. But most people don't do that, right? So let's say in the job environment, it's the common thing to say, no, okay, we're with Israel or whatever, we are with Ukraine, or it doesn't matter, it's the common thing. And if you don't align with that, you are outside of the norm. And then, because most people, bro, they just adopt the mindset. They say, okay, Israel is good, the other one is bad. I just say the same thing because it's like this, right? Yeah. So then you're in an environment of NPCs and you're like, is it even worth it? And then you just shut your mouth because you don't want this confrontation. You think it's useless. And then more and more people do it like that, and then that's how the narrative spreads, and no one does anything against it, you know?
Yeah, and after these last few years, the most recent Black Swan event kind of portrayed who's still asleep and who's actually awake and can see what's happening. So it's very interesting.
The current narrative is so obvious. It's like, if you believe in that, bro, I love you, bro, but I don't want to have anything to do with you. You know, it's just from a loving perspective, because it doesn't make sense for me. If you are on that surface level, it's cool. Do your thing. I hope you will have a great life. Most of the time, it's the similar pattern. Most of these people who believe that shit, they don't have a great life. I've never seen someone believe this shit and being a successful person that I respect, truly.
Absolutely. Not only that, if you look at the person's health, just based on the physical structure, I'm like, you can't even talk to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, don't even waste your time, because I look at things like that and I'm like, you're gonna push something that you've been told is correct, and yet outside of that, what are you actually doing to benefit yourself? What are the foods that you're eating, the content you're intaking, the friends that you're surrounding yourself with? All of these other things will almost like break you down as an individual due to the fact that you're following a simple path and an agenda that was pushed for you to be involved.
You are what you consume, right? Let's look at the average guy in the West. He wants to go to have some food. Bro, even if you just want to walk into a grocery store, bro, 80% of that shit is there to poison you, if we take it like that. Even the fruit is full of pesticides and they spray with chemicals, bro. You can't buy natural food anymore, you know what I'm saying? And then when you consume this type of food is one thing. You are your environment, you know, and that will affect you. And your environment says a lot about you. If I see a girlfriend that doesn't respect this guy, it's like, it says a lot about you, because she is a reflection of you. Your friends are a reflection of you. If your friends are losers, I can expect 90% of the time that you're a loser too. You know?
Some of my friends were smoking weed, partying, doing degenerate shit. And one day I pulled them up. I was like, bro, what are you doing? Like, I love you, but, you're destroying yourself. And they might have temporarily hated that I brought that up. But, bro, I literally received a message like a week ago thanking me. Because now, like, those certain friends are in Amsterdam having the best time of their life, pursuing what they want to do, living healthier. And they appreciate that I did that, because it was planting a seed inside of them.
You need to lead by example, you know? Yeah. If you say stuff, if you want to convince everybody of your belief system, of things that you believe in, but you're not actually living it, you're not actually leading by example, you're not the true representation of that, then they will take it like, okay, you said that, bam. But if they see, okay, you said that to them, they were upset in the beginning, but now they see you leveling up, being in shape, having nice tattoos, having a fight, making money. And then they're like, oh, this motherfucker, maybe he was right, huh? We're still loser, we're still smoking weed and playing video games, huh?
And Snoop Dogg talks about this as well. It's called the gap. And so you guys met on the same level. You start leveling up, your friend stays at that baseline level. And it's either they come with you and start leveling up and joining you up at the top, or they stay at the baseline. And bro, like, you'll meet other people that are at the top with you, because like, in order for you to drop back down, you have to get back to their level. So it's either you continue leveling up or you stay the same.
Yeah. There's a baseline at every level as well.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We'll push to one level, we'll achieve that, then together some of us will go to the next level. Some people will just stay where they are, and that's just the comfortable point. But majority of the people that start, they're the ones that will continue to push on. They're not just going to accept that one level and that's life now. It's like, no, we're here now. We've built a better life for ourselves at this position. How do we now take it to that following level, and then the following level, and then the following level?
100%.
Yeah. Like, how do we make our floor now our ceiling?
What I noticed is, from a lot of people who are successful, it all starts with the same patterns, with the same principles. In the beginning, you have your bad environment, your bad friends that are distracting themselves, doing their thing. Now, you cut them off. Most of the time, or a lot of the times, you go through a lonely phase. Now, it was for me the same thing. Get educated, I'm in the gym every day, I'm doing my thing, and then over time you build new circles. Now, bro, 1 year later, I'm around killers, I'm around good-looking people, hustling people, motivated people, and you need to go through that phase. And most people break in that phase, and then they go back to their ex, then they go back to their friends,
exactly.
Because they can't overcome that.
Yeah, well, it's always said, it's not lonely at the top, it's lonely in the middle. Because at the bottom, you have the friends that you grew up with, you went to school with, was just the basic shit. It was just comfort because it was convenience. And then you go through that stage where it's like, it's lonely in the middle, where you've left those friends, you've left those circles, and you're working towards a better thing. But on that journey, it's slow to find the people, especially if you're still in your hometown. when you push yourself to that next level, you move to Bali, you move to Thailand, you move to Tulum, you do all these other kind of things. You start to find your people. One person creates another person. Another person creates 2 or 3 more people. Before you know it, you've got a tribe of 10 men, and everyone's doing something differently. Mitch can help me to do something. You can help me to do something. I can help you to do something. And as a collective, we level up together. Then we get to that stage where it's like the top level. Now it's like everyone's like, oh, it's lonely at the top, and it's like, you're not at the top then. Because if it's lonely, you haven't done it yet. You know what I mean? We're still on that way.
You attract that shit. If you're the guy and you level up, because bro, if you wanna have killers around and good people around, you need to be a killer and you need to have a true intentions to good heart. Then you will attract that shit. In the beginning, you're by yourself. You start traveling, you get out of your comfort zone. Now you're on the other side of the world. All of a sudden, bro, everyone's like you. Everyone has the same mindset. So past that stage of life to finding these people, finding the right environment, and now you build this thing, and now unlimited potential, brother. That's the thing.
And it's important to be surrounded by people that are happy for your success, because you can also have friends that are with you when you succeed, but then they're low-key jealous and they don't want you to be better than them.
Unfortunately, it's like a natural thing of human beings, right? Let's say you're leveling up, you're all over the world, you're traveling, and maybe they're normal people, right? They are your friends from back then, but they still live this old reality. They're still in this thing stuck, and then they're like a little bit happy for you, but they didn't do it themselves. They're like, I would be there too, would be cool, right?
That's exactly it. We all have the same opportunity. We all have the same 24 hours. It's like, it's about what you don't have rather than what you do have. Did you early get a girlfriend, have kids, buy the house and settle? Or did you not have any of these things, live in like the cheapest apartment you could for as long as you could, drive the basic car for enough money, like enough time to save enough money to get out of there, and then you sell those things and then you take it to the next level. Now you're in a position where you've leveled up, everyone else is stuck behind you. They can no longer take these risks anymore, and now they're looking at you like, you know what, fuck this guy. Like, we started in the same place. It highlights to them that they can't actually do what they say they wanted to do. Well, they never really wanted to, and they never really said it either. They just looked at you like, he'll be the same, and then he starts to bring you down because he knows he can't do it.
They don't take these extra miles. They don't do these extra hours. They just want to sit down, have a drink, and even when they travel, bro. Travel is another big topic, but maybe for next time. But when you travel, there are 2 types of travelers, right? The people who stay in their bubble. They go to let's say they go to Tulum, right? They just stay at their hotel, have their nice area, drink their latte. Same thing that they do back home, but in Tulum, right?
Yeah.
But there are these people, like me, for example. Bro, when I travel somewhere, I go everywhere, every corner. I go there, I talk to locals, talk to people, eat their local food, try to understand the environment, try to understand the people. How much do I level up? How much do they level up? Yeah, exactly. It's a big difference, bro.
Just through the repetition of conversation as well. You can learn so much about a place. You can learn so much about yourself and about others just by having these conversations. Because otherwise, if one person is standoffish and doesn't say anything, it's like it's a wasted opportunity. Even you see a girl in the gym, you think she's an attractive girl. I would enjoy some time with her. Blah blah blah. And then you don't capitalize on that opportunity.
They never make the move.
You might know, you might have the opportunity to talk to her. She might be leaving that same day. You miss the opportunity, you never get it again.
100%.
You know what I mean? It's all about building yourself to such a point where things that are scary and fearful and all of this kind of stuff in normal settings, it's a normal thing for you. And I think as a fighter, when you're in a position, you know you're going to fight this person, you know this is going to be hard. How hard is it to talk to a girl?
When you fight, your dopamine, adrenaline is such on a high level that normal reality becomes easy for you, And you need to get into this flow state of thoughts that you have in your mind to just execute, Gym, you see a hot girl, bro, you can just talk to her. You don't need to fuck every girl you talk to, you know what I'm saying? Just have a nice conversation, be a nice man, be a polite man. Help her when she needs something, And then you start to have a conversation and then you're open to everything. And so to cool guys, Just say hello, bro. Hey, what's up? You never know what kind of mind this guy has. Absolutely. Maybe it's very interesting. Maybe he has some knowledge that he wants to share with you. Maybe that you have some knowledge that will share with him. And then it's like you attract all of that shit. And when you go through life with a good heart, good intentions, bro, all that shit becomes so easy. Execute your thoughts. You'll have the craziest life ever, man.
Yeah, it was actually funny that Mitch said the other day is like one of the things that we need to do now where we're here, we're somewhat alone. We have each other, but we're like alone really. It's like we need to move with speed. And it's the same thing. You messaged me yesterday, let's do a podcast. I was
Speed.
like,
Bop, bop, bop.
exactly, that was yesterday, 6 o'clock. I messaged Mitch saying, potentially going on a podcast. Let's do it. Mitch said, all right, I'll be there. Within a space of a few hours, we're all here. You know what I mean? Like, it's that simple. And if we keep executing in that way, bro, the possibilities are endless. Day by day, the tribe's building. You know, one creates two, two creates three, four creates eight. You know, and vice versa.
100%.
And I find it very interesting. Like, you know, a lot of people wish they had a dream car, you know, the trophy wife and a big house, but only very few take action, you know. So I'm living with, you know, 4 other guys now. They're all go to the gym. They're all working 24/7. And if one isn't, you know, he will be held accountable. And then the others will be like, bro, what are you fucking doing? You know, so.
And if he is in that environment, over time he will do it too. It's like a natural thing that will happen, you know. He's blessed to be in that environment. If that guy would be in another environment where everyone's like him, he would never jump
or
over,
come watch
you know?
Netflix, or come to Fins. You know, enjoy yourself. You're in Bali. Like, you don't want to be surrounded by that because you're nowhere near where you want to be.
100%. It has a big impact on you, and I'm glad that I met you two guys. I think we had a very interesting conversation. I'm blessed to be on this journey. I'm blessed to have a podcast. I'm blessed to have conversation with great people like you, with true heart, true intentions. I'm very happy for that. It was a nice conversation, my brother.
Indeed, it was.
Nice conversation,
Nice
brother. And I see you in the next episode of Focus Talk.